All right, Onward fans, it's your man, Pooh Nanners, broadcasting live from Houston, Texas with Sleepy. Sleepy Plays VR is a full Twitter title there. We've got lots of Onward action for you today. And a lot of stuff's going on, right, Sleepy?
Yeah. All the stuff going on from last week. Man, I was just telling Pooh Nanners just a few minutes ago, actually, so much stuff happened this week. So many great clips, so many great plays, so many great matchups to talk about. And we're going to cover that here in the next few minutes for you guys.
Yeah, and thanks to you and Buxton, you guys were able to actually get so many more clips this time. Whenever me and Stealth would do it, we would have so much difficulty finding good clips, figuring out where the good matches were, scrubbing through stuff, finding stuff that were from previous seasons. But you guys really nailed it down and did a great job. And so the only hard part I had was actually downloading them all so that we could do them today. But before we get into the clips, we just want to talk about the Onward Button Cup. Now, the Button Cup was made as a response to a particular player in the league, Nolamite, right, who was complaining, and he's not the only one that complains. Other people have complained where they feel like, right. We have this in Echo as well, where they think the EU division, there's not as much competition over there, not as much participation, so they don't feel like that the top guys are as badass as they really are. But I mean, hey, they did win OC5, so you got to give them that. But they feel like, when you get down to 3 and 4, that it drops off suddenly. So he wanted like this big Ryder Cup style thing where I think it was Cannon Fodder was actually the one that suggested Button from Cannon Fodder suggested that we do the Ryder style cup. So not quite golf, but what are you going to do? They decided to call it Button Cup after him, and the Season 6 matchups are all up on the site, so you can check that and follow that as you please. But getting into the actual Season 6 stuff, Boss Fight versus your guys, the Danglers, had a very tense match, apparently. They had caps on both sides. Boss Fight ultimately lost a match, but it was certainly not one-sided. We have a lot of clips, and Sleepy's going to give us the rundown.
Yeah, so in this first clip, this was the first map. This was Quarantine Danglers. We're actually down 2-0. They brought back one map on the defense, and here's their very, very next attacking round. You see Weather Balloon. He's in a tough position. He's got Nintendo and Executioner pulling up. Executioner goes directly in, gets the cap, and then they both finish him off there.
He knew he was there the whole time. Man, using the uplink as cover is how you got to do it, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, absolutely. What they had actually done, they got very lucky, because right before this clip shows, Weather Balloon was actually very close to the objective, and he had a better chance of getting them to either kill him or killing them before they would get this cap. So he's unfortunate that he pulled back. Now in the second clip here, we have the map number 2, Scorpio here coming up on the backside of Executioner as they defend. Oh! He's gonna get the knife out, take him down. Nintendo can't hear any of this, mind you. When you knife kill somebody, the team is unaware unless they check their tablets. So Scorpio's already got a
knife kill like that in pro play in a long time. You see it in their trailers, always showing off what you're going to see, but you don't ever see it. So that was really good to watch. Oh, yeah, especially the silent aspect of it. He pulls out that tablet and he's like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, I mean, he had Executioner already dead to rights. Now here in the third clip of this game, same map, swaps sides. Dangler's down 3 right here, but Stumpy Nub going to pull an amazing 180 drop shot off of that second level and take down Scorpio.
Hardcore parkour right there, right? You got to get him. You got to get Stumpy, but like, just say parkour when you do that.
Yeah, I'm not even sure he knew it was going to happen. Sometimes those hitboxes on those rails can be a little touchy. Sometimes you can do it every time, other times you can't. Now, here's the final map. This is where Danglers finally clench everything for the map, I believe. Llewellyn's going to toss a long nade. You see it there on the right side of your screen. Take a look, it explodes just in the air. It takes down Legel from Boss Fight in a pre-planned kind of very meta position. And great nade from him, and I think everyone can agree. Just, I mean, the arc on that, just beautiful.
Yeah, just brutal, man. Oh, man, especially because of how far he threw it, that it detonates in the air, maximizing its radius, man. That's brilliant.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, those airburst grenades becoming more and more popular as part of the kind of regular meta of the game now.
New meta, baby. Always. Speaking of new meta, we're going to see people get into this later on. We've just a spoiler alert. We got some highlights of people really using those tasers. Some good stuff.
Yep.
I don't think we have any highlights with drones just yet, though. Not a lot of drone play on the highlights, but people are breaking them out, though, right?
Yeah. I actually casted a match for the Team Fury not last week, and one of the guys came to me in a private message asking if I could, because he is a drone pilot. He's big into drones in his personal life, and he had a bunch of his drone buddies that were going to watch, and he wanted me to cast it so they could kind of see what was going on. So I did, and he did utilize the drone in that, but nothing really came avail of it. He ended up actually getting killed not too long afterwards. But yeah, drones are playing a key role now. Seeing a lot more teams using it. I know G-Men like to use it in their matchups now. So yeah, it's definitely becoming more and more popular.
Sweet. Well, moving on to another match, we had Animal House versus SMC Tactical. I feel like that's a little bit more in their league. It was a unexpectedly close matchup. I would have called it close. I know Animal House has been kind of going up over the last couple of seasons. So
yes,
especially the last one, they almost kind of eked their way in over boss fight. SMC ended up winning as predicted, but there was the match that no one thought would go down to the wire as much as it did. Ended up coming it was like the one that people thought would be a blowout, ended up coming right down to the wire. So we're going to walk you through these highlights. Man, Sleepy's got all the inside details.
So this first clutch here, we're going to see Steven, usually the last man standing, on Anima House here with a pretty great clutch in a 1v2 situation. You got both members of SMC, as you could see through the X-ray shots, if you will. Landed Jordan and Brass to Mouth on SMC, sitting upstairs where the objective is, guarding it very, very closely. They know that there's only one enemy left, and they just have to hold that stair set.
Magic. He's just got to do some magic, man.
He's going to pull an abracadabra, as he would say. He's being very cautious.
I've always hated this uplink, especially when you're on the attacking side. It's not even right.
Yeah. It's really tough.
Especially against Landon Jordan's up there too, man. Brass to Mouth. Yeah. Oh, no way. He's not going to make that.
There's Abra, and that's Kadabra, and
they just barely get it.
He wins
the
trade. Yeah, it's amazing. This match, such a great match to watch. I couldn't believe what was going on. SMC actually, and here's Steven again. He's now in a 1v4 situation. Same map, same match. And he's getting ready to clutch it again. He gets one downstairs as the frag comes out. He's going to go outside, do a little double check. He comes
wrong way, no!
Well, see, it's usually a little bit safer to rush into that corner because
that's the corner. That's a good coverage corner, but it just so happens there wasn't anyone in that corner for him.
Yeah, and so unfortunately he does lose that round, and SMC Tactical take the map. But overall, he had a fantastic match that day. He was going pretty hammer on all the maps. And then here we have the last map of the match. SMC Tactical on the defense. As you can see, a lot of smokes coming out from Animal House. Kill comes out from Brass to Mouth. Silent Knight's going to come around. He's got good angle. He's coming around the backside.
That's chaos. Puts down Brass. Silent Knight, man. I love that guy. Oh, man. Lots of kills back and forth. Really just laying them out right here. Yeah, one man on SMC Tactical. Who is it?
That's Pone Cake. He was the one who's capped on here. And Silent Knight, as you can see him there in the middle of your screen, sitting right next to that objective after all the coverage was taken out. And Animal House pick up 2 and actually take the lead there in the start of that map. Actually, I believe on every map, SMC Tactical was down 3-1 and then came back on every map.
The comeback kings, baby.
All right, in this next clip, we just saw that grenade that just came out. As you can see, it's taking down the guy in that container. What you can't see, and if Poonanders is able to pull up this other image that we have, there's an alternate angle. Basically, it bounced off one of those cargo bay doors and into the container.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It was complete luck. I mean, there's no way they could have practiced that enough to get that bounce down.
Luck shots are the best shots, though.
But it was very amazing. He was able to take down the guy in that shipping container, which is pretty much impossible with grenades typically. But yeah, an amazing frag coming out there from SMC. They're able to take that guy down, and I believe ultimately they do win this first one. I think this is actually the first round of the map.
Yeah, I believe they do take that one. And in the end, it still wasn't Animal Houses to take. As you said, SMC Tactical apparently on the ropes fight a little bit harder, and we're able to take that one in the end. But still very close, showing that Animal House is still stepping it up. Not quite enough to take out SMC Tactical. I know Steven is still pretty top dog on that team. Silent Knight is also pretty wicked. So we're just, got to get that training going. Maybe they should roll into the Fire family, the Inferno.
Yeah, that's possible. Inferno is always looking to grow its team and its conglomerate, if you will, in order to kind of put their heads together and try and take down these world champs and these top dogs. So, and it's obviously working out really well for Blaze because they're on fire. And yeah, I mean, literally, they are on fire. Blaze is on fire. Can you imagine? I mean,
yeah, I think all Steven has to do is see if he can find a clip from Animal House where somebody's drinking Fireball, and he'd be like, "Hey, that's why Animal House fits in with the fire thing. Like, just let us in, let us scream with you guys."
I'm sure Steven would take his own picture with some Fireball if it really came down to it.
Steven is the best, man. I love that guy. So,
yeah, he's a good time.
So other matches ended up happening. We had Fury versus Stone Cold Killers. Fury, a team which is chock full of good players, but lacks coordination, and they were stagnant for quite a while, right? But then all of a sudden, they came out in a rage, narrowly beating Stone Cold Killers and capping on them in the final round on 2 different maps. But it's just couldn't quite seal the deal on that one. It was an upset in those maps, though, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. I think everyone kind of counted them out in the end of those maps, but yeah, like
just
it says,
narrowly able to stop them. And you'd have thought Stone was going to take that one, right? That was the idea, but
well, they definitely have more experience in the league. They've been in playing for longer than Fury has. Fury kind of collaboration of misfits from various previous teams, and then some guys who came into the scene a bit later. But overall, yeah, I mean, they were looking very strong when they first started out. As it mentions here, I think they were just lacking the coordination, but we'll see as time goes on. They are strengthening again. It seems like they're getting their groove back, so we'll just have to see what ends up happening. But
yeah, and now we don't have any clips from that one, so this is why you guys got to stay tuned to every streamer streaming, even whenever it's Sleepy and Night aren't there to give you the spectator view. You can still catch it from the other players who are streaming the games, and there's a whole schedule on the site so you can see when those are going to happen. Moving on to people we do have highlights from, Blaze versus Legionnaires. As you said, lots of great games that happened this week. Blaze was looking really good going into this match, fresh off almost defeating Boss Fight the previous week. You could probably call them a favorite going into this match, right?
Yeah, I mean, Blaze is kind of the underdog team that everyone is rooting for right now.
Rising star, though, yeah.
They are, yeah. I would even say shooting star more so than rising star. Because season 5, the very last season we just came out of before OC5, that was their first full regular season. So for them to do that kind of work in what ended up being a pretty short season in comparison to previous, and how they're doing this so far this season in season 6. I already told them, I spoke to a few of them tonight when there was a game being cast, that they're my second favorite team behind Danglers, and that's only because I'm biased being on the Danglers.
Right. But in spite of that reputation that they're starting to get, the Legionnaires were not afraid, and they decided to challenge them. And they challenged Blaze, and they almost took the match from them, right? But they lost the map wins in the end. They weren't able to get the points they needed. But from what I hear, as the mysterious MMR engine does its math, they did not take as bad as a hit as a result of challenging somebody that was definitely ranked up over them, right?
Right, and mostly because they kept that score close, and that's the most important thing. If you do lose the series, the best thing that you can hope for is that you keep that score within 1 point, like we see. It was an 8-9 game in points, so it was a 1 point differential. So yeah, of course they're not going to be hurt.
Well, let's get into some of these highlights and see how hurt they weren't.
Yeah, so what we're going to see here is you're going to see El Vegas there in the bottom left-hand side of your screen. He's laying prone. He's watching this stairwell that's back here that you can see. I believe that's Naoko and Verds getting ready to breach as they try and attack the northeastern market objective. They already know he's up there. They've called him out. Naoko there with the shield going to run right up to El Vegas.
He puts the shield right on the top of his head and puts him down. Oh, brutal.
He booped him, and then he shot him in the head with a pistol. Insane.
I feel like at that range, he could have just knifed him, but yeah, you might as well shoot him.
That's true. I think it's more for the reach over than trying to expose yourself for the knife. But yeah, overall, it's one of the funniest things I think I've ever watched in a live match. I was watching that one as a spectator for whoever was casting, and my God, that was just a hilarious move. Now here, we're going to see something that's not so skillful. In fact, Blaze, they aren't perfect. They do have their issues, and hand-eye coordination apparently being one of them. At the top left of your screen, you'll see the 2 guys there. They just down Mr. Miyagi, Cryocell does, and he tries to throw a frag. You can see it just kind of there, the grenade trail, and he kills himself and Cryocell with that frag, thereby giving Legionnaires the point. all just due to a bad bounce on a frag. So you got to be careful when throwing those frags in Onward, because they'll come back and bite you, as we've talked about in the last episode.
Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes. Definitely people are starting to work on their grenade throwing. Grenade throwing is still difficult. I know that the developers have said that they're planning on making changes to it. So that may change a little bit. I know that also we were talking about how the meta has changed a little bit on wanting you to cook your grenades and throw them high and far enough that they'll blow up in air. Also, I think that will play into the fact that I know that the developer said that they wanted to change some of the damage mechanics, where it's like, if you're in so close versus so far away, if you lay down the appropriate way, like you're taught in the military, like reducing damage that way. And then also, modeling that damage thing. So I imagine if it explodes in the air, that's just a much greater area of effect.
Yeah, they're adding a direct kill radius to the grenades in the 1.4 update, and
it's like you're not even down, you're just gone.
Yeah, there is no more. It just downs you. If you're in that radius, you're dead. But yeah, they have added some pretty cool stuff. They're going to try and add, going prone, trying to take some cover to mitigate the damage. But also, something I found out just recently is that you can actually dive on grenades and prevent them from killing your nearby teammates, as long as you're completely covering the grenade and no one has line of sight. So I found that completely interesting, because I'm like, I know it's a valid tactic. I've heard of a few different warriors in different branches of the U.S. military doing that in combat or in a combat zone, and it saving their squad mate's life.
So if you got the right kind of armor on too, you can pretty much take that blast without doing too much damage too. You can survive. Yeah,
I mean, you might catch a little bit of fragmentation here and there, but probably not going to be nearly as much.
Plate armor that some of them wear. Not all of them have it. I know they couldn't afford to get everybody with it, but if you got the right plate and you get it smothered, then it's still gonna mess you up, but you'll survive.
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be like an elephant kicking your stomach and or chest, but it's better than having your leg blown off, I guess.
Good thing we don't have we don't have that force feedback in the game just yet. But speaking of things that we don't have, Unit and Lemon Squad had a match that I hear would have been great if had it been casted, because there was a pretty big upset. The Unit, who's not even in the top 15, was able to beat Lemon Squad. So, this is Lemon Squad came in second at the Leicester event, right?
They went to the second.
They went to the second. That's what it was. So I was like, I didn't think they came in second. It was, God, who was it?
We came in fourth. We came in second. Danglers came in second at that event.
Danglers just barely missing out on OC5, but you still got to go. But yeah, that's what it was. They came to it, but I didn't feel like they had a good showing at the Leicester event. But I mean, they were playing against other top tier teams, because it was the number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7 ranked teams, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, they actually had a pretty strong showing on day one. Unfortunately, they played G-Men first. Yes, they played G-Men first on the first day. And they lost that one, throwing them in the losers bracket with us, who lost our first one against G-Men in the off-stream matches. So we were actually the team to knock out Lemon Squad in the losers bracket first. So yeah,
unfortunately, Lemon sunglasses, man, they're a curse. I'm just kidding. I kid the Lemon Squad, but still, though, unexpected for them to get beat by such a lower ranked team. So I guess up and coming from the Unit, we don't know. We don't have any video from it. We just know that they dominated on Suburbia and Downfall. But Lemon Squad woke up a little bit in quarantine. We're able to get some fighting in, but in the end, like I said, you play the 3 maps, but if you don't get the points, you're not going to win. So it's just too little, too late. But at least they were able to step it back up at the end there. So not a total blowout. Maybe they were just kind of sleeping. Maybe they were tired. I don't know. It's hard to predict. It could just be that the Unit's just coming out of nowhere and up and coming.
Well, also Quarantine 1, which is the last map that I see in my notes here that they played, is quote, their map. I mean, we talked about this last week, where Boss Fight beat them on this map and everyone was surprised. I mean,
it's not their map anymore.
apparently not.
Well, they did win here. They did win here. So it's the one they expected. It said they won 1-4. So that definitely feels like it's their map, Except for Downfall, they lost 4-0. And that's brutal to a team that you expect to be much lower. That 4-0 numbers on Downfall is what I would expect Lemon Squad to perform against somebody like the Beginners, but not the Unit. So, well, moving on to games that we do have highlights in. We had the Stone Cold Killers again versus Blaze. This matchup started off a little bit rough as Blaze came out of the gate on fire, a pun intended. Unlike the Stone Cold Killers, they played far slower than they should have on Downfall, and then Blaze brought out an incredible angle to get some picks in here in this next clip. Set it up for us, man.
Yep, so we're on map number 1 here, and it's going to be Downfall. We're going to see Blaze starting out on defense, and the guy just kind of in the center top of your screen, the one you just saw firing, that's Verds, and he's going to take down Dr. Sean all the way across the absolute other side of the map. If you look down in the little mini map where you can see the little blue markers down there, that's where they spawned. Verds was able to take one of them out, and I mean completely out.
That's not even
under
a full
10
pixel.
seconds.
That's like half a pixel.
Yeah, I mean, you're literally shooting at a fingernail over top of the horizon that's probably 300 meters out from you or better.
That's with a scope.
And that's with what looks to be a 1x scope. So he did that with a holographic scope and not like a 12x or a 4x, which would actually give him the visibility range that would be typically expected of a shot like that. And the next one we have here is Stone Cold Killers. They're on an attack push. Oh, I'm sorry. They're on a defense push here on Suburbia. And you see a Miracle Dev from Stone Cold Killers throwing out a grenade and picking up 2 in the back of lane 3. And I'm not exactly sure what happened after that. I cannot recall if they were able to get these 2 players back up. But just a beautiful grenade from a Miracle Dev. And it does look like Stone Cold Killers
got the revives, yeah. And Blaze got the revives. I don't know if you saw that in the kill feed, but Blaze got their guys right back up. And then just right back to where they started.
And then here comes this crazy laser show of grenades.
I think it keeps going on like that for a minute, but only pulled a minute of these. It's definitely one of those wonderful grenade fights that you used to see in sometimes. We like to see them on what's it like? I can't remember the name of that. It's Cargo. Is that the name of that one? Or
yeah.
Just go smoke grenade fights and see what happens. Everybody's blind.
Yeah.
And then,
nobody can see. It's like just tie a bandana around your eyes and run around with sticks trying to smack each other.
Yeah. Who needs eyes when we can just play this game? This game that's in virtuality, that doesn't require eyes, right? Well, we've also got a whole bunch of clips coming up from these next guys. There's your guys, Danglers versus Silent Purge. Hyped up match between the two of you. Top tier team. Danglers is an high tier team, Silent Purge. You guys are no scrubs either. You guys are way up there. The third button match to be played, and it was apparently a roller coaster for everybody watching. Silent Purge previous best map, Bazaar, was taken away from him 5-1 by you guys. Did you play in this one?
Nope, I did not. I was watching this one. I played in a game that we did later that day. We actually played 2 in this day. We played Silent Purge first, and then later that day we played Phoenix. In that game, I did actually play.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, I was watching this one, and it was hard to watch sometimes because, as we'll talk about here later, we took the first map from them 5-1 with a nice cap at the end to seal the deal. Silent Purge able to come back in the second map and beat our butts pretty bad 4-0. I mean, we put up 0 points on that, which was pretty unlike us, especially in quarantine, because we don't dislike that map at all. We play it quite often, so it's very rare we score 0 points on it. So, but anyways, they played fantastic. Can't take that away from them. And then
speaking of cargo, though, right? Y'all got into cargo, like we were talking about earlier, tossing out the smoke grenades. You guys like your CQC. And it seemed like it was a rather one-sided map. That's where you guys were able to pull it out in the end, right?
Yeah, this is where we kind of turned up the heat a little bit at the end because we obviously did not want to lose this, not only because we were representing the U.S. on the side of the Button Cup, but we also didn't want to lose any MMR because, as we talked about earlier, the matches for the Button Cup do affect our MMR in the season. So, and that's the whole reason that this is happening is because we want to get a more accurate ranking of teams across the seas. So yeah, so we definitely played it tough. We didn't go into it thinking that we had it or anything. You know, kind of reflected on me what we talked about last week. What you said, iShiny had told you about being an esports player and just always treating your matches with respect and never underestimating any of your opponent, no matter what happened previously. So yeah, and I think we took that into account. And I mean, they pulled out a great game. But if we roll into this first clip, you'll see just the Danglers just using their speed and aggression that they've been known for seasons now. And what we're going to see here is one lightning fast round. The counter hasn't even started. They're still stuck in the spawn box. There it goes. 6 minutes is going now. Danglers on a hard push up the center left and center right. Kev's going to take down Plenus, but Executioner going to get the refrag. Stumpy's going to push his way up. He's going to pick up one. Executioner grabs another. I can't even follow it. So 17 seconds into the round, as you can see the timer there, 5 minutes, 43 seconds. Brutal. Just mowing down. And we were on defense. We shouldn't have been playing that hard, but the guys went out there, they felt it was right, and they did it. Next clip here, we have some voodoo magic, as you'll see. you see Death picks up Plenus, but if you look down there in the kill feed, you see that Plenus actually revives himself.
Magic. He was holding the syringe as he got killed, and it fell on him.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. And the developers did look at that later, and they were able to recreate it. So they have fixed that now, so that it won't happen in the future. But everyone was just blown away. They were like, "Wait, did he just revive himself?"
Oh, no!
Sure yeah, it's a smoke.
It's a smoke, though, so we're good.
Yeah. So he ends up reviving himself, and it's pretty crazy, because then he ends up getting the final kill, not only on the guy who shot him, but to also clinch the round here for danglers. So that was pretty interesting. And then lastly, we've got a couple of those taser clips you were talking about. Stumpy Nub, one of the few guys in the league to rock a taser, and he is not scared to use it. Now, the thing you got to know about the taser is it is a one-shot weapon. You have one shot to hit, and that's it. It is a one-shot down. It will take your enemy down and incapacitate them so that you can come up, hack their tablet, or what have you. But Stumpy Nub doesn't care. What he'll do is he'll take it, he'll stun you, and then after that, he's going to take your gun and kill you with it, silence you, and move on. So, yeah, with that, they were able to take out some of the defenders, get a nice push going here into the hallway. Straight
Check out the other one.
Yeah, now we're moving into the very last round of Bazaar. The Danglers have moved in. Executioner is on the cap, and as you see, there's some nice coordination here. Stumpy Nub's covering him with his shield. Pleen is covering the door with his rifle. And Executioner able to get the cap, clenching that first map 5-1. Just a great play. And actually leading up to this play was Stumpy tasing another guy.
The tase master over here.
Yeah.
He's doing good work. He's doing God's work with those tasers.
He is.
It's glad to see the taser making its comeback and actually seeing people taking people out. It'd be nice if people went from tase to hacking, but I'm starting to feel like hacking is a bit of a slow play compared to how a lot of people do. So maybe you're going to start seeing hacking come out of the European guys. I don't know. I feel like once somebody starts to go down, things come down pretty quick. I mean, if they're in close quarters, someone goes down in close quarters, like they're just going to converge on you pretty fast.
Yeah, I believe they said in the 1.4 update they're shortening the time that it takes for the code to generate on the hacker's tablet. So I believe they said they shortened that from 15 to 5 seconds. So that should make it for a quicker usable item. So maybe we will start to see it more often now that code doesn't take as long to generate. But yeah, it's not really been something we've seen too much in competitive play. Not really too sure as the specifics on that, as I haven't talked to many players about it, but it is something that will probably start to slowly intricate its way once a team figures out how to use it effectively.
Well, hopefully somebody does, and we get to have some entertaining clips as a result of it. So G-Men actually took on Blaze as well. It was another non-button matchup. Resulting in a close match between the two. G-Men being one of the oldest teams in the league. They actually have a logo, looks exactly like one of their players, which I always thought was fun. But they survived all the way through season 1 till now, going against the new aggressive newcomer for season 4. His first real season was in season 5, Blaze. Now, G-Men are relatively strong on downfall, so they took it relatively clean against Blaze, though Cargo was not nearly as clean, right?
No, they had a little bit of trouble with that, and G-Men were able to squeak that one out with a 4-3 scoreline, but, you know, in my personal opinion, after seeing G-Men play in Leicester and playing against them kind of at the top of the US rankings for the last season or two, G-Men have been looking a little off to me, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. I don't know if they've ever really recovered from that bad vibe they got after the Leicester event, but it seems to me that they're not playing as well as they were, and I'm not really sure what's going on in that, and I don't want to speculate into it because, you know, it could be personal reasons and what have you, but so I feel like G-Men should have had that match just a little bit more handedly than they did. But, I mean, you can't really count out Blaze. Like I said, they're shooting up the rankings. They're putting in a lot of work, and they deserve it just as much as G-Men deserve it to be in the top. So,
well, let's take a look at least this one fun clip that happened at the end of that round.
Yeah, nice lighthearted clip for us to end on here. So this is going to be the dumpster building objective. You see Blaze here on defense, and if you watch the guy on the far right, the one who just dropped that little tablet, not ready. Okay, he dropped it. He tried to put it back on his back. Nope, doesn't work.
Classic not ready.
some Benny Hill music going on here. He just cannot seem to find that backpack where that pad goes. So he says, you know what? After this one, I'm just going to pick it up and I'm just going to carry it. Or maybe I won't. Nope, I can't pick it up. Nope, it's me. It's got Teflon on it.
It's virtual reality, folks.
He says, you know what? I'm just going to carry this damn thing where it needs to go. And that's where we leave off as they push out for their defensive positions. But yeah, a little lighthearted hot potato. Yeah, yeah, I have too. Especially right when the update came out where you could actually let go of the tablet. Because before, when you pulled it, you could let go of it. You could shake your hand. You throw your hands around like a crazy man. And then it's attached to your hand. It's like it's on a leash almost, you know. So now, because you can drop things and you can pick up things with both hands, you can even put both hands on the edge of your tablet now. I mean,
they got to add a sharp edge to it so you can throw it like a ninja star at somebody from a distance. That'd be a good move.
Yeah. We thought it would be cool if you could just like throw it at somebody and like incapacitate them for like 15 seconds, like say knock them out by hitting them in the head with the tablet. But
they've got to add. I feel like, and I know it's hard with competitive players, but we got to allow the developers to add just a few silly things. I mean, we got the taser. That is pretty silly. But you got to add a couple things just for entertainment value. You don't want them to be OP, but you need some entertainment. I was like, if anything, like somebody could come in there with a squirt gun and just like, it just blurs their vision, but that's it. That'd just be fun. Just watching somebody that become like a new meta that somebody always has like a super soaker. Well, let's get into the standings, right? The standings changes. We're still doing worldwide here, I believe. We're going to end up changing them to division at some point. But right now, we're going to break them up to worldwide just to make it easier for us to get into it. Globchem, that's their new name. We've renamed them officially, right? Globchem. Holding on to number one. But really, I mean, more or less tied up with the beginners, who are also number one in their own division. Although the beginners still the number one in the world as far as OC5 is concerned. Danglers, your guys, holding on to number 3, 4 more games played, but basically number 2 in America, so well done there. SMC Tactical trailing up behind you guys. I'm sure they aren't fans of that. Lemon Squad coming up in the back end. Then you got Mob Squad, Boss Fight, Silent Purge, Demon, Animal House just eking in the top 10. So they're up and coming. They're not doing so bad. Last season, they were like ranked 15, 17. They way low down there.
Doing way better this season, and yeah, to your point about SMC, they are not too happy with us taking over their rank spot. But the reason why is because we did put in the extra work to play some extra matches, and they haven't had that opportunity yet. Either scheduling didn't work out, or teams just wouldn't accept their challenge. I mean, they are tough teams, so I can understand why a team may not accept that challenge. And right now, they're Dangler's biggest rivals. I mean, when we play them, it's like we're playing a mirrored image of ourselves because their playstyle is very similar to ours. If you go back and watch the casts, I think they have a little bit more coordination to their pushing, and that's why they've been able to edge us out in our previous matchups. But overall, I think, we're both just like right here. It's neck and neck. So the only reason we're really pulled ahead is because we played 4 matches in the courses of 2 weeks. So we were able to gain extra MMR because we were able to win all 4 of those matches. And as you can see, it really boosted us here on the rankings, sitting number 3 in the world, number 2 US.
Points are what count, man. Speaking of points that are going to be up for grabs, we have some more matches. One that already happened tonight. It was a blowout between Globchem and Animal House. We're going to maybe see some highlights from it. It's really purely up to Buxton, who is our producer for this show. He writes and produces the whole thing with some feedback from Sleepy and Nightfire. And we basically just are at his beck and call. He just tells us, you do it, and we do it. That's more or less how that works, right? But then G-Men are going to go up against Boss Fight. That's probably actually going to be a fun game to watch. I think it will be.
I'm casting that one.
Yeah. So we got to tune in to watch you do that tomorrow. The times are all here. Now we've cut this list down so that we could fit most of it on here. If you go to vrmasterleague.com/onward, you can get the full schedule for both these matches and any matches that'll come up being played for like the Button League. The Button Cup, so to speak. You can see all that as well. But moving on, we have the Ember and Stone Cold Killers. That'll probably be pretty good. I think out of these matches, I think you guys versus Blaze will probably be pretty interesting, especially as much love as you've been heaping on Blaze lately. Blaze and Lemon Squad might also be good. And then obviously Globochem versus Beginners. That's going to be a good match too. And a lot of those are going to be happening at like the same time. The Blaze and Lemon Squad and Globochem Beginners basically the same time of day.
Yeah. Well, the Blaze and Lemon Squad and the Global Chem Beginners are scheduled for next week. That's November 11th that it's scheduled. Danglers and Blaze, we're hoping that match can get cast because I really think it's going to be an interesting one. I really hope that's one of the casters picks it up, but I know it's like 3 a.m. for Buxton to be able to pick that one up, so I doubt he'll do it. He's done it in the past, but I don't like to condone him not sleeping just to cast a match. Yeah,
and,
so
is Nightfire not going to be able to do it?
I don't know. He typically tries to set himself a personal limit so he doesn't ruin his voice.
He's been doing a whole bunch of them. You're right.
Yeah, we've all been trying to
recruit more community casters, guys. If you think you got the chops, we'll train you how to do it. It is as long as you're a guy who can keep talking and not stop talking, you're halfway there. The other half is that you need to know the game.
Yeah, that's very helpful. We actually have had a pretty good intake of new guys here lately. A couple of the guys from Blaze, in fact, Noman being one of them. He's actually doing a great job. He co-casted with me on one of the matches last week, and I really enjoy his analytical skills and his ability to keep talking. Actually had to talk for like 20 minutes because my headset decided to do a firmware update after we started the stream. So
that's the kind of skills you need in a caster, a guy who can just keep going and stalling. Like I had one at I think it was like OC4 with the very first one that I did, the big event that I did. And Blue had a cough, so he was like over there coughing and popping in cough drops, and I'm just carrying. It's like, I got you, bro. Then then I had the like flu in Poland, and you have to like talk with your voice in a way that people don't know you have the flu. But as we casted for 8.5 hours straight on that day, it became very obvious that something was wrong with me. Oh, it was good stuff. Good stuff. So, moving on to another one of these announcements. Now we're going to talk about Capptin again. Capptin, who passed away earlier this year tragically on his motorcycle accident, leaving behind a son and a fiance. The community got together and actually had a good fundraiser for them because when you leave them behind, it's very difficult. So they were able to knock that out. But Christmas time is also a difficult time. His son was asking about where's daddy? He's too young to have figured it out. So some of the players have got together, decided to have a quick fundraiser to get presents out to his young son. So we're going to put that link to the GoFundMe in the description for this when we put it up on YouTube. So be sure to check there if you're interested in helping out. No pressure, but it's just something that's nice to do for other people. And we like to highlight those things whenever the community comes together for each other.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's made me just fall even deeper into it is this community. I mean, we're gamers. We all like to talk our trash. We all like to dig on each other every now and then. But at the end of the day, when things like this happen, to see a game community as tight-knit as Onward to come together and support this player's son and widow is just something that really gets to me. I mean, I was all up in my feels when it happened, and to see the community come together for that, and then to come together again without any sort of warranting to try and give this kid and this widow a great Christmas and a happier holidays than what it may have otherwise been. It's just it speaks to me on so many levels, and I just love everyone in this community and anyone out there who may go and donate of their own volition. Thank you guys so much. I know this means a lot to her and to her son. And I mean, there's nothing else I can really say about it other than also to add that the devs were awesome in the fact that if you look on the table inside the tent where you're waiting between rounds, if you look, there's actually a set of dog tags on that table that have Capptin's name on them. And that's what the devs did for.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
You're crying. I'm not crying.
Man, I do love how tight the community is, and I enjoy talking to you guys at OC5. It's a very solid community, bunch of guys. People bringing their kids out with them and their wives as well. And me and Radar Head were trading baby photos because we just both recently had children as well, and we were joking about using that as our headshot. Us just like tired on the couch holding a baby.
Yeah,
it's good stuff, man. Well, that is all we have for today.
Ain't nobody stopping us.
Go. That's right. Nobody is stopping us. We are going to keep on going. Anybody who wants to come be a part of this, come join us. We're doing a good job. Sleepy's going to be doing a few of these. We're going to get Nightfire in here. Other casters are going to trade in and out. So eventually I got these guys with the technology they need to do it on their own because y'all don't need me. I'm an old man. I got babies to do, to take care of. As you may have noticed, this little background here that we're playing with is like a sliver of a background that I'm designing for all of the casters so we can have like fun, interesting backgrounds or something that's kind of consistent between us and eventually put us all in the same space. So if you come and join the community casters, you eventually can be part of us helping construct your professional casting set, because we're all just kind of learning on the fly here at vrespawn.com, and it's a community project, so feel free to join us. Feel free to submit clips to Onward the Game, VR Master League, at Poonanners Play, at Sleepy Plays VR, at Buxton Water UK. Just hit us up. You got a clip you think needs to be on the show? Let us know. What else you got, Sleepy?
No, nothing. I think you stated everything pretty well. Just want to thank the viewers for tuning in, and tune in next week as we drop some more Onward knowledge on you here from the VR Respawn.
And the game's coming up this weekend, man. Saturday, Sunday. We got some good ones.
Yeah, I'm trying to get as much Button Cup and otherwise coverage as much as I can, trying to cover those teams that aren't battling it out at the top, too, to keep everyone satisfied. So.
All right. Well, see you next time, guys.